Hello and welcome to the Global Church Project. I'm Rebecca Coles. Brooke Prentice is a descendant of the Waka Waka people in Queensland, Australia. She is an Aboriginal Christian leader. Brooke is the coordinator of the Grass Tree Gathering, a national and multi-denominational conference for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Christian leaders. Brooke speaks at churches, colleges, universities and conferences about cultural awareness and issues affecting Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. Brooke seeks to invite non-Aboriginal people to journey together with the oldest living culture in the world and follow Jesus' call to love all people and speak out against injustice. Welcome, Brooke Prentice, to the Global Church Project. How is the church enriched as it explores and embraces Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander theology and faith?
When we're the oldest living continuing culture in the world, which I say is a gift, that's a gift to the church. So many non-Aboriginal Christians, I think, once they come on the journey with Aboriginal peoples and understanding our connection to this land that we now call Australia, they're often challenged with where their place of home is. And I think by us being able to explain theologically about Creator God having been in this land for over 60,000 years, that we had knowledge of Jesus before the white man came and after the white man came, that those things are really important in the life of the church in Australia for a true understanding of what we've known for over 2,000 generations. We've got a lot of knowledge to pass on. And I think when we really think about the present day Australia and Christian ministry, Aboriginal ministry is often given the scraps that are left over from the churches, and our ministries struggle financially. And, you know, when 58% of Aboriginal peoples live in poverty, the money can never come from the community. So we have to set up another model in this country about how to support Aboriginal ministry. Because it's only through thriving Aboriginal ministry that's recognised by the denominations that this can be opened up, our theology and our understandings and our ways from a Christian perspective can be opened up to the wider church. And I think the church has a lot to learn from us about how we do community. We do community that is full of sharing resources, full of love, full of family. And whilst that might not be in a Western church building, it happens in our parks and at funerals and our houses and all of our gatherings. And I think that's something that the church can learn from Aboriginal peoples, just about how we do community.
And how can Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples and non-Indigenous peoples come together side by side and as equals to figure out how this relationship will work in Australia?
So how we come together side by side as equals, we probably need to look at two different areas. One area is within the political realm. So for me, and this is where I think Christians need to be involved in our call for treaty. As a nation, we've never sat down as equal partners, as Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal peoples as equal partners. For me, the only way that we can do that in the political is by a treaty. A treaty for me is like a table. It's a table where we come together to discuss how our relationship will actually work in this nation as equals. And I think the other area is within the church and how we become equals. And so that's about creating the opportunities for Aboriginal Christian leaders' voices to be heard, and not only heard but amplified. And that's something that we've been trying to really do as Common Grace, and so that's one of the important goals that Common Grace have, to amplify Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Christian voices. And I think that's the important thing for the church, because if you can't even hear our voice, how can we even have an equal footing?
And what can we do to help make this happen? And also, what is the church's role in that?
So there's many things that individual Christians or churches can be involved in. And I guess on a simple level, when we look at the true history of our nation, the present day injustices, the Aboriginal Christian leadership, if individual Christians can have those conversations with their own family, their own workmates, their own community, their own churches in their congregations, talk about Aboriginal people, but not what the media tell us about Aboriginal people, but about the stories that you know individually by meeting Aboriginal Christians in particular and other Aboriginal leaders, that, you know, we are an essential part of the fabric of this nation. And that's a beautiful thing, a beautiful tapestry we can, it's a beautiful tapestry that we can weave together if we do come together.
What do Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Christians teach the church about themes such as justice, holistic faith, and living with the land?
I think what Aboriginal Christians can teach the church about holistic faith, connection to land, and about justice is that the three are essentially interrelated. It's hard to separate each of them. And they're three themes that the church absolutely has to wrestle with if Aboriginal Christian leadership is to be embraced and if we are ever to get to a sense of equality within Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal Christian Australia. And so by our connection to land and removal from land and dispossession, we can look at the injustices. Without that connection to land and with the dispossession, then it's hard to have healthy, thriving communities. And so that holistic faith is so important. But on the faith side, when I, as a younger Aboriginal Christian leader, look to those Aboriginal Christian leaders that have gone before me and who have suffered terribly, who weren't recognised as citizens in this country, that's in their living lifetimes, who have fought for equality and justice and freedom. These are, our Prime Minister wants to talk about Australian values, but these are Australian values we still have to fight for as Aboriginal peoples. They're not givens to fight for protection. We actually have to fight to even have them. And for the Christian church, I think that's something that Australian Christians should be standing side by side with us, fighting for as well. It's about our human dignity and the recognition of our human dignity, which has been denied to Aboriginal peoples for so long. And it's time that the church came and loved us and talked to us and walked side by side with us.
Was there anything else that you wanted to say to us today?
I think one of the last things, and it's one of, I guess, one of the last things, but the most important things, is that we can't do reconciliation on our own as Aboriginal peoples. Reconciliation is about both of us, and so we need non-Aboriginal Christians coming and standing side by side with us, doing reconciliation with us, building a better Australia, a different Australia. And, you know, my prayer and my hope is that Jesus challenges each Australian Christian to help to lift the spiritual blindness and spiritual deafness which surrounds our country and has for so long. I think the time is now, and so that's come on the journey with us and experience a huge sense of community, of love and of Jesus.
Thank you, Brooke, for joining us today on the Global Church Project.
Thank you.
The Global Church Project is located at www.theglobalchurchproject.com. On our website you'll find a wide range of interviews and resources for colleges, universities and churches. I look forward to your company next time. From me, goodbye.